Going live. Fingers crossed. I figured it out. Sometimes just trying to get a wake and bake on is not as easy as you might think. Nonetheless, I think we're working here. 10 seconds in, I see a couple of folks in. Sorry about the difficulties. My camera was showing up completely black. I'm not sure what was going on there, but hello there, Shino Beotcast. Let me actually open up on my computer the live video that I have going right now, and I'll be able to read your guys' comments a lot easier. So let me see. Is it live? Is it live? It doesn't show live right now. Oh, I'll probably have to go into my videos and go into my live section. What's up there, Alex Clay and Willie and Eric and Mr. Drock, J-Rock? Mr. J-Rock. Well, that's a great name. Classic J-Rock from the Trailer Park Boys. Can't go wrong with that. Pretty hilarious shit. Yes, it's live. Show's live. Excellent. That's what we're trying to do. It wasn't that easy last time as well. I tried to get this thing going, and it seemed to just not really want to go. So let's open up this Wake and Bake. Let's mute it, and let's get this show on the road, shall we? Yes, yes. All right, I got your things here on the left. I might be looking down a little bit and not quite at my camera, which I've got hanging on the top of my monitor right now. So have some patience with me. I think it's time to hit a little of this very, very beautiful dry sift. Comes from this little guy right here. O9 Cookies, which I cleaned, and it has self-pressed into an absolute puck. Good luck getting that out of the jar, but that's how it goes sometimes. What's up, Abe? Donald Vapors, Elliot Rod. Weird noise. I don't know. Well, I'm glad it is gone. I got this microphone right next to me here that could be the culprit. I've got my little microphone. Hello, hello, hello. Trying to get better sound, you guys. You understand? Just trying to get better sound. Hate to have shitty sound for you guys. We got the D-nail going at about 620 degrees. And how did you achieve that, B-Man? The rosin from yesterday looked super stable. I don't remember hitting rosin yesterday. I think I was hitting dry sift. That's probably why you thought it was super stable. It was my dry sift that I was hitting. I mean, I took the odd rip of rosin yesterday, but it was from this pile here. I don't think it was anything that you thought was stable. That was just a little piece that I made from Johnny B's MK Ultra. Quite tasty, a little bit dark. Not the color that I like, but great smell and flavor on it, so I still got a little piece left. I'll probably hit it in a bit, but for now, Wake and Bake with the full melt dry sift, 99.9% Skunkman Sam Tech. I hope you guys can join me with whatever you're puffing on, whether it be a pipe or a joint or whatever. Let's have a little rip. All right. Well, we are going to give your friend Joey in 10 minutes a birthday shout out, Alejandro Delgado. So shout out to Joey. This one is for you for a birthday rip. Wake and Bake. And let's hit it, shall we? Boo-yah. Shout out to Jolie Oli, the absolute boss. Well, I'll tell you one thing. When it comes to YouTube followers and subscribers, he is absolutely killing it. Nobody can deny that. I'm not a super big fan of his stuff, but I love the fact that he's got the exposure. I love the fact that he's built a huge thing for himself, and let him do his thing, right? Let him do his thing. Well, Alejandro, if I'm still in the room and I can still remember, I will say shout out to Joey. He's a rapist juggalo. You gotta love how fucked up the media is and how crazy people can grab little parts of it and turn it into just the most ridiculous thing. Hey, all I was giving him props for was his following. Nothing else. He's got a huge fucking YouTube following, as do many people. Look at PewDiePie. I don't hang out with that guy, but holy shit, he's got 10 million followers on YouTube. Quite something. Hey, good morning, Take Fruits from Winnipeg. That's my hometown. Always nice to see a fellow Pegger in the house. And I guess it's always nice to take Not one, but a couple of wake and bake rips. Chili Boo in the house, taking a doobie break. 54 million. 54 million. Wow. Isn't everything fake news? Today, the good fake news I saw was that a friend of mine thought Terrence McKenna movie was going to be made with Jim Carrey, and there's this thing circulating that Jim's been taking 5 grams of dried mushrooms to prepare for the role. And it's unfortunately all fake folk. It is unfortunately all fake, but the idea of it's nice. I love the idea of a Terrence McKenna movie. I think that it would be, if done properly, could be quite something. He was definitely a character. For those of you that don't know who Terrence McKenna is, I would definitely look into one particular talk he did. I'm not sure if it was at the Esalen Institute, but it's called Psilocybin in the Sands of Time. And if you want to hear an incredible lecture, I know not all of you will do it, go punch that in, Psilocybin in the Sands of Time. And it's a Terrence McKenna lecture that literally opened my mind to many ideas as a very young, 17, 18, 19. Yeah, I know, I'm not sure. I think it's because it's a poor connection, so the focus is coming through bad. Hopefully when it uploads completely, it will be better, but who cares if I'm a little blurry? You just need to hear me. Let's do this. Good luck, Mike Tree. Good luck on your taxes. Where the pure hash joints been, B-Man? Well, Big Zaddy, that's interesting that you asked that because they're on the way, and I'm going to be doing another video of that real soon. I think I'm going to puff 2 of them this time. What's up, FM? Well, Chad, don't worry. As long as you found them, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter really when you found them. It matters that you did find them. And the fact that you did, you now have access to all things Terrence. I would honestly start with the lecture Psilocybin in the Sands of Time, but I would also check out the book that he did with Rupert Sheldrake and Ralph Abraham called Trialogues at the Edge of the West. That's really good too. Yes, Colchi, they do indeed. Who knows? Potentially, maybe that's, I know they definitely kickstarted my existence and my knowledge base and the things that I thought and, didn't think could be a reality. It definitely helped me in a big way and helped me with heroic dosing. When I was taking those heroic doses, therapeutic doses, if you will. We called them heroic doses back then because people were afraid to do them. Not everyone would willingly jump into a 5+ gram dose of psilocybin mushrooms, particularly if you were jumping in with, some Syrian rue seeds or some Banisteriopsis caapi root bark, which was both of those plants, or seeds and plant, and bark are very high in harmaline and harmine, which are 2 of the potentiators if you have ever taken ayahuasca. Usually there's harmine and harmaline present, and then there's a tryptamine present, which the harmine and the harmaline are going to potentiate the effects on that tryptamine, really opening it up and sort of allowing it to express itself greater than it would without their presence. And so we would eat mushrooms, decent doses, but we would also take the Syrian rue or the Banisteriopsis caapi root bark, and that would very much, very, very much affect everything and change everything in the way you saw things. So, hey, you know what? I'm pretty sure it's fucking Joey's birthday today, and I think we should all grab something heady. Joey, hanging out with Alejandro. Why don't we have a puff, buddy? Big ups from the Bubble Man on your birthday, dude. I hope it's a good one. I hope everyone treats you right, and I just hope it's one of those great days where you don't want it to end at the end of the day. If only we were able to do that. It's funny how we can do that for our friends on their birthdays, but it seems to be impossible to do on a daily basis. Just treat everyone like it's their birthday. Seems like a good idea. Yeah, big fan of shroom tea. We used to call it yawn tea because it made us yawn many, many, many times over drinking that yawn tea. What are you at, 47 Chuck B? Chili Boo, Shroom Church is in session. Indeed it is. Puff Puff Pass. Well, I'm just about to have this puff in honor of Joey's birthday, who is hanging out with Alejandro right now. So let's have a puff for Joey, shall we? Right on, tremendous grower. I wish you guys could see it melting in the bowl. I'll have to make a video because it's really quite lovely. Very lovely. Nice, Emma Cure. Well, that's great. That's a good attitude for sure. Although what I really like is not just how I feel when I celebrate every day. The unique aspect of a celebration, whether it's a birthday or some, special event, that it's everyone else that it's this group consciousness that goes into this higher level of thinking and feeling that is like putting a lot of the negativity just seems to be put aside. So I definitely appreciate that. I am smoking on some O9 cookies, full melt dry sift, as well as some Pine Tar Kush full melt dry sift. I have a little bit of some rosin here from the West Coast concentrate, even though it is in a concentrated X container. And then I have a bunch of concentrated X. Some strawberry banana, some golden berry, some kosher kush and cookies and cream dry sift rosin, which is really nice. All stuff that you can check out on his page, Concentrated EX on Instagram. Yes, they are 100% real terpenes. They're not part of a sauce. They are cannabis derived, 100% terpene profile. Nothing else added, nothing else taken away. It's what was in the plant, extracted away from the drug content and made pure and available to you. BlueRiverExtracts.com for America. That would be Tony and Michael Manning taking care of you down there. And if you were to purchase up in Canada, it would be BlueRiverExtracts.ca. I don't think terps are for jerks. I really don't think that. Them's fighting words around here, in fact. If you want to get the block, you definitely don't want to. No, I'm not actually a pothead because I don't actually consume cannabis as a whole. I only extract the resin, the consumables. Now, I'm good with eating the seed embryo for the rich oil, amino acid latent oils. I'm good with using cellulose from cannabis plants to make paper products. I'm good with wearing the fibers. I'm good with hempcrete building homes. I'm good with all the 50,000 commercial products. But I am absolutely also very fond of, both medically and recreationally, or adult use, if you will, the use of cannabis for all who want to, choose to do that, to follow that path. They should be allowed to. And for those that don't, I'm good with that as well. But what I'm not good with is people who decide they don't want to do something and then trying to make that decision for the rest of the group and try and say that it's for protection while they themselves are addicted to pharmaceutical drugs, alcohol, and tobacco while guzzling a gallon of coffee every morning before work. And I would fight for their rights to do those things. I'm not talking down on them. I would fight for their rights to do those things. I just choose not to do those things, and that's okay. I'm not better than them. And they're not better than me. We're just different people doing different things. And so I would fight for as I have for the last 25 years, for recreational as strong as I fight for medical. I only smoke solventless. I absolutely piff. Although let's talk about the irony of that statement. Okay, first of all, it's a double whammy for Nick T, because he came up with this. The word solventless existed before, but let's be honest, Nick T popularized it. He didn't want to call his bubble hash. Matt Rise had already called his ice wax. He was coming out with his brand, and so he came out with solventless. But solventless to describe water, which is the universal solvent, is a pretty big fuck up right from the get-go. Like right out of the gates, tripped, fell, smashed, rolled, got back up, still running. But the next one would be that it isn't solventless in the sense that the terpene profile are hydrocarbons. So terpenes are Hydrocarbons, the building blocks of all cannabinoids, are phenols and terpenes. Before they push up into the upper membrane, into that fibrous mat to be cooked into existence through the UV from light and the sun, you will have phenols, which are alcohols, and terpenes, which are hydrocarbons, and it is pushing up and producing all of the cannabinoids, all of the terpenes into existence. And it's not solventless. Now, I understand where he's coming from, and I've used the hashtag myself. I get it. It's been popularized and people have accepted it, but it is definitely an ironic statement to call water hash or hash in general solventless, because right there in the hash are solvents, whether they're nature produced or not. Just because they didn't come out of a can of butane, they are definitely solvents. D-limonene will degrease an engine if you don't believe it's a solvent when you purify it into a pure form. And some of them are quite caustic, to the point where many of us know, for instance, in the terpene game, we make sure that the top lids are a PTFE that cannot be broken down by those hydrocarbons if the lids get splashed with the terpenes. If you just put a normal plastic in, for sure over time those terpenes would eat away at that plastic and consume it. So pretty trippy stuff. Terps will be the new butane. Well, terps kind of are. Cheers from Estonia, Bubble Man. Wish we could smoke solventless around here. You can. You can. You can. I will teach you how. I will show you how gladly. Check out the videos on the channel. There's a ton. As simple as using a screen. If you don't have a screen, you could literally go buy women's pantyhose, fill it with herb, go into a cold freezer or a cold fridge or something cold and smash that shit in a little bin, and you will see trikes rain down. Will they be the cleanest? No. No, they won't. But they will be solventless. They will have a lack of a footprint in regards to using anything from water to solvents. All leave footprints on a molecular level. Dry sift is really no footprint. All you're really doing is decontaminating the resin gland heads of all of the rest of the non-glandular plant matter. Yeah. Tell ya, I have some sweet skunk, Mark. I would say it tastes like tangerines. What's your thought? Well, I've never thought sweet skunk tastes like tangerines. Sweet skunk has a bit of a hazy smell to it. It is sweet and fruity, but almost more like, I mean, it's hard to even describe. You know, first of all, there's no skunk in sweet skunk at all. Sweet skunk is a name that Mark Emery decided because his menu had no skunk on it, and at the time everyone wanted skunk. So when Breeder Steve brought him a big bag of seeds, and I'll have to ask Breeder Steve what the actual name of that cultivar was prior, but I'm almost 99.9% sure that Mark Emery wrote Sweet Skunk and sold those seeds at Sweet Skunk, and that basically hammered the name into that cultivar forevermore. It's one of my favorites, not the super strongest, but it's just velvety butter to puff. The resin is super sweet. At the last Cannabis Cup in Amsterdam, I think it was 2012, after 20 years of going there for the Cannabis Cup, it was over, you know, and I was lucky enough at that time to have about 15 grams of just sweet skunk heads. And one of the things I noticed in Amsterdam that year is that everyone had the live resin and the fresh frozen bubble hash. And what I found was, because of the lack of curing that went on to not properly remove the wax membrane moisture, most of those products butter out in the end. And my stuff, I left it out. Everyone was keeping their shit in the fridge and the freezer. I left mine out on the table. It never changed. Every time you smoked it, it had the smoothest, nicest feeling in your throat that was just hard to really describe. It just so nice. Subscribe to Little Show. Well, I'll try. Could I dry sift using bubble bags? Yes, you can, Jess Suvala, but you really need to stretch that screen to dry sift properly. It's going to be, I mean, these screens are put on with a very special machine and glued on very tight, measuring the hole to make sure that it's accurately the hole and that it's not being spread too tight or left too loose to be left, sort of Great gardener style, when he had when I went to his house and he had a door frame with a screen stapled in the side. Got to give it to the guy. It was totally working, but oh my God, from a hash perspective, I immediately gave him a giant set of screens and said, here, please use these. I just think it's important to use the right tools. You know, for sure there's MacGyvers out there. You can do all sorts of stuff and come up with your own unique things, but there's something to be said for like accuracy and tightness and proper tools. Yeah. Hey, right on, Stephen Lundy. We're just celebrating Joey's birthday. I don't even know how old Joey is. I'm going to go for a shot in the dark and say 27. Are you 27 today, Joey? Or am I completely off? Happy 27th? No? Dabbing all the way from Scotland. Ah, Scotland. I've got a little Scotland heritage. Some Irish, some Scottish, and French is mostly what my family is about. Yes, you know, Reed, your friends are saying it isn't worth it because to them it never has been worth it. So don't let their limitations guide you. You know, that's the problem with taking advice from people who haven't got as far as you may get. They're telling you that where you may get, it doesn't really exist. It's not there because they've never got there. They thought they made the journey, they got stopped. They weren't persistent enough. They didn't continue on. They looked at the obstacle as an obstacle and took a different path. You're going to look at that obstacle as an opportunity and find your way through, over, under, any way you can get to the other side, because that's really, truly the journey right there. Oh, that's not true, James. It's just not true. You know, if you want to make money, nothing sells for more than dry sift. Dry sift can fetch $200+ a gram. I don't know who Gary Vee is, but I'll go check him out. I hope it's a bit of a kind of a burn. Like, I hope he's some cheesy self-help guy or something, and I'm just going to be like, oh my God, I got to stop doing these wake and bakes, getting all blasted and just yammering on. I am 44 years old as of March 31st, born in 1973. That's cool, James. That's cool. But I can tell you, no matter where you are, also like solventless, dry sift, you know, the bubble hash, rosin, guaranteed. They're all over the place. Well, that's okay. Some of us are older and some of us are younger. Try not to get caught up on age. It doesn't really mean that much. You know, I think it's one of the ways they try to, yeah, Joey Maddock, a shout out from Boston. Yeah, Boston. Whenever I think Boston, I always think, get in the fucking car. Get in the fucking car. We're leaving. Is that kind of a decent Boston accent? I've only been to Massachusetts once, and that was in 1994, I think, 1994 for Phish Tour. I went and saw Phish. I saw them at University of Massachusetts. Where was that? That was in, I don't know, UMass? UMass University, University of Mass, and then I saw them also in, I ended up in Bangor, Maine that year, which was far. Even most of the people on the tour weren't going to Bangor, Maine. Actually, I have a great story for this particular show because it was far away, and it ended up being in a school gymnasium with the old bleachers that you could pull out and push, and they went inside of themselves. So we were literally in a gymnasium at a Phish show. But before that, I was out in the parking lot eating psychedelic mushrooms. Now, I had taken fairly large amounts in my past, so taking like what looked to be about a gram or two maximum seemed to be not a problem. So I ate some of these mushrooms, and really within about a half an hour, I ended up in the line to get back in, to get into the show because it was already later in the day, towards the evening, dusk, if you will. And I got in line, and within a half an hour, these mushrooms were so strong. The crowd of people that were all talking started to sound, you know, slowly but surely morphing into the sound of like metal pieces clunking and crazy fucking sound, like it was a transformer that was basically getting ready to take off and, you know, changing shape as the crowd was. And I was so focused on this sound that I didn't really realize that before long, I was the next person to get searched, which I also didn't realize was happening. They were searching people hardcore, like TSA styles. And over to the right were all these Bangor cops, looking pretty upset and mad and mean, and vibe-wise, definitely looking intense. I'm trying to hold it together. I look at them, I look at the guy who's about to search me, I realize I do have some stuff on me. So I roll it into the bag, and I, kind of try to slickly stuff it into my sock. And so I go through quite confident now because I'm feeling nobody saw me. I know nobody saw me. I got it into my sock. Now the next guy's gone and I'm up. This guy searched me, didn't find anything. I walked by, I looked at the cops. I was walking by them, and their look was so much more negative than the look I was giving them. And I started getting, feeling sensitive about it. And one of them was looking at me really weird, and it made me look down at my foot. And lo and behold, what do I see? I see my sock is stuck on my pant leg. My pant leg didn't go over the bag. And instead, it bent the bag over, and I had a bag of herb dangling out of my sock as I was walking by, if you can imagine. And let me tell you, that was a heart attack moment. I couldn't believe that they let me be, that they were just like, whatever, this guy is. I was completely spun. I was completely spun. In fact, I was so spun that I later found those people who had those mushrooms, and I said, listen, I have never taken mushrooms that strong in my life. For a while, I thought I was on a high dose of LSD. Like someone had sprayed LSD all over these mushrooms in liquid form, and I was literally on 10 hits instead of 1 or 2 grams of mushrooms. Found those guys, they laughed. They were like, no, man, just mushrooms, blah, blah, blah. It was some Panaeolus, not your average Stropharia cubensis, something a little bit different that he had a friend growing. And let me tell you, they were no joke. That was humble pie. For at one point in the concert, I remember standing there in this gymnasium, and and everyone was smoking Marlboro cigarettes, and I swear, in my world, they were all coalescing into two big streams that were spinning and going right into the corner of my eyes. I felt like I was absorbing all of the toxic, poisonous smoke that these motherfuckers were puffing on. It was bizarre. At one point, I had a girl come up right in front of me and put a chair down right in front of me, 2 inches, and stand on top of the chair. And I swear I stood there spun for maybe 5 or 10 minutes, maybe longer, trying to figure out if it was really there. And she was smoking Marlboros as well, I'll have you know. In the end, I had a great show. Fish did a very unique version of Tweezer. It was 37 minutes long and totally melted my brain right onto the floor. And it ended up on their live album. So if you buy or go even online and download or whatever, listen to on YouTube, Fish, the live one. It's a double album. The Tweezer is from '94 in Bangor, Maine. And let me tell you, no, these ones, yeah, Panaeolus are similar, but they're not Liberty Caps. Liberty Caps are Semolinsciatas, and they are also can be very strong and very wonderful mushroom for good enjoying. I suggest getting Paul Stamets' book, Psilocybin Mushrooms Around the World. It is a wonderful book to teach you how to identify safely in a multitude of fashions, from the color of the spore to the vesicle on top of the cap, to the bruising. All of these different things can really teach you. And of course, indicator mushrooms in areas where, if you're looking for cyanescent mushrooms, which are known as the wild, the wavy caps, you're going to want to make sure that there's chip underneath wherever you're looking, because those particular mushrooms grow on wood chip. And so luckily for us here in West Vancouver, they chip all the excess trees that fall down and are damaged in windstorms, and they make our boulevards out of them. So there are many, many mushrooms that I'm talking about right now that I can pick 5 minutes outside my door and a half an hour all the way from here to Vancouver. They can be picked. So, hey, don't worry about it, Jesse McClung. We can, a thumbs down is a little bit of humble pie. If someone doesn't like something and they feel like they want to give it a thumbs down, it is truly their right. And I know you said you did it by accident, but I just don't think people should feel bad for giving something a thumbs down. It's your opinion. You're allowed to have it. I have indeed met the Trailer Park Boys. I've met Leahy and Randy. I've met Ricky and Bubbles and Julian. And then I met one other one. It was Trevor. Yeah. So I don't know, Mark Clokeed used to have them come by all the time. He would throw events and have them come by. I never hung out with them. I never took pictures with them. I never sort of did that, but I definitely got introduced to them. And they were all in character while I did. So that's kind of a mind fuck. You know, one of the cool things about the Trailer Park Boys is when you meet them, generally, they are in character. You won't really meet them out of character. So if they're dressed up. And so that's a real kind of unique thing that they have this power to bring their show into reality. And of course, make people who appreciate them feel that they're in the show. Hey, you know what? That's how it happens sometimes, Squeak. Exactly, cheeseburger. Hey, what's up, Indra? Oh my God, are you literally advertising your extractor even in this chat room right now? You're hilarious, dude. Bubblebags, bubblebag.com. Have you guys heard me say bubblebag.com since I've been in here, by the way? Absolutely not. I know you asked him, don't get me wrong. I know Indra gets asked a lot. It's just it was funny. I know, Shane. I knew someone would. It's hard not to. When you need one, you need one. He's got to get a page, get it up, get it out there. Boom, bam, boom. You guys all know my page anyway already. There you go, Eric. About to dab some BHO. Friends don't let friends smoke poop soup. Well, you don't want to do that. Don't be GrowTube. What is GrowTube? I've never seen GrowTube. Should I go watch it? I've never extracted psilocybin crystals in my life. And greetings, Silver Fox from the UK. Greetings. How much damage is smoking solventless made in your lungs? Well, I haven't felt any damage. I have no repercussions. I have quite strong lungs. Had them tested last time at the doctor, and my lungs came in at around a 26, 27-year-old. Pretty strong. Not bad for 44. I don't smoke cigarettes. I do a lot of exercise and active sort of things, from dirt biking up mountains to downhilling down mountains to snowboarding to even backcountry split boarding, which is where we climb the mountain first and then we go down the mountain. So I do all of these things, from wake skating and wake surfing and wakeboarding, and I'm all about being active, and it keeps my lungs active. I don't smoke paper. I don't smoke glue. And I have a pretty sensitive bioassay when it comes to, my bioassay. If something's not right in the extraction, I'll generally know right away from smoking it. I don't need to put it in a proton NMR and be told what the billions are. If I feel sick, I feel sick. And so I've always been led very accurately by that, even from weird bubble hashes that I'm just, I know something's wrong. So I think so as well, Brian. In fact, Paul Stamets came by my booth one year at the Psychedelics conference, which I was actually, it was Finn McKenna, who was right next to me on one side, Terrence's son, and this really wonderful woman from Mexico who does the Huicholi art. So I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with this art, the Huicholi masks. There's a variety of it. I have a bunch of it. I don't know if I've ever shown it. This is beadwork from the Huichol people, and they take peyote, which is their spiritual guide, and then they do these incredible beadworks. The beads, I believe, came in the 17th century. Prior to that, the Huicholi people used colored yarn. So they used yarn before they got the beads. I believe it was the Spaniards that brought the beads. This is the yarn work. And the yarn is just, really, really cool work. I traded these for bubble bags. Jose Luis Castillo was the artist on this particular piece. This is a clay piece that he then... Now, can you imagine tripping on peyote and doing work like this? Like really serious work. Let me show you guys a couple more, just because I have them, and we've already shown you these ones. I, of course, fell in love with this stuff and wanted to support these people as much as I could. So I did. I made sure I got 5 or 6 big pieces. This is the Jaguar, of course. And you'll often see peyote-based artwork on these things. The peyote animal is, of course, the deer. So you'll see deer as well. You'll see scorpions. You'll see a whole variety of things. I'm not going to show you my big lizard because it's in the other room. I got a huge lizard. It's really cool. But here's another one E.C. Fran did. And you can see the scorpions up top with the peyote in the middle. Peyote cheeks. 2 little baby fawn deers on the lips. A couple more fawns down here with peyote buttons inside of them. So very cool art. Huichol. Huichol. If you've never heard of them, go do some research. Go support them. They're definitely a really, really cool people. Hey, sometimes that's how it goes. That's how it goes. So yeah, I just had those on my wall. Now my wall looks all bare, but it's cool to have them nearby. I love this artwork. I've always loved the Huichol artwork. Just super cool, right? Very, very cool. Anyone can change their vote at any time. Sorry about that, guys. I got apparently put everything on pause. So I am back. 163 people watching. I think that's the end of the show, to be honest. I had fun. I hope you guys did. We will see you next time on Bubbleman's World. Peace out, everybody.